Long before the destruction of Krypton, before the last son of the House of El journeyed toward Earth, before the sky cracked with fire and prophecy, there existed a creature that most Kryptonians believed was only a myth. They called him Rhal'Tor, which in the old tongue meant the roaring star. But legends whispered a simpler name, the Lion of Krypton. Rhal'Tor was unlike any beast that walked the crimson plains or crystal thrones of the planet. He was born from the heart of a collapsing star, or so the ancient stories claimed. Some believed he was engineered in forgotten laboratories by scientists lost to time. Others believed he was sent by Ra himself, the sun god who watched over Krypton. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain. Rhal'Tor was not just an animal. He was Krypton's protector. His mane shimmered with radiant energy, threads of blue, silver, and red light that rippled like molten stardust whenever he breathed. His eyes glowed with ancient intelligence, deep and aware, as though he carried the memories of every civilization that had risen and fallen on the planet. And though he looked like a lion, no one who saw him ever mistook him for something ordinary. His roar alone could shake the crystal mountains and send shards of frozen light tumbling into the red canyons. He wandered the uncharted zones of Krypton, a silent guardian watching from the shadows. Most Kryptonians had never seen him, and those who did rarely understood what they had witnessed. Some believed he was a myth created to entertain children. Others insisted he was a weapon, a relic from the old wars. But a few elders, those who still honored the ancient lore, knew the truth. When Krypton faced its darkest hour, Rhal'Tor would rise. But Rhal'Tor was not immortal. He was powerful, yes, beyond anything Krypton had produced naturally. But he carried a strange loneliness. He was the last of his kind, the last of the star beasts. And though he roamed the planet with pride, something in him longed for purpose, for connection, for something more than merely watching civilizations build and burn. That longing began to awaken the day he saw a young scientist named Jor-El wandering the eastern cliffs, searching for answers that most Kryptonians refused to see. Rhal'Tor remained hidden on a ledge of crystal rock, watching the scientist with glowing eyes. Jor-El's voice carried through the canyon as he spoke into his recorder about seismic anomalies and energy spikes radiating from Krypton's core. But what intrigued the lion most was the scientist's expression, a mixture of determination and quiet sorrow. "It's dying," Jor-El whispered, "and no one listens." Rhal'Tor understood that feeling all too well. For centuries, he had sensed Krypton's slow collapse, the shifts in gravity, the unstable pulses beneath the ground, the faint tremors that shook the crystal forests during the night. He felt it in the air, in the rocks, even in the crimson glow of the sun above. Krypton was reaching its end. Jor-El climbed higher, stepping onto a ledge of glass-like crystal. When his foot slipped, a slab broke free and crashed downward. Rhal'Tor reacted instantly, leaping from his vantage point with a burst of radiant energy. He struck the stone with a force that split it into harmless fragments before it could crush the scientist. Jor-El froze. The lion landed beside him, majestic and silent. For a moment, neither moved. Jor-El's eyes widened with disbelief, recognizing the creature from ancient murals carved in the older parts of Krypton. His voice trembled. "The Lion of Ra." Rhal'Tor lowered his head, not to threaten, but to acknowledge him. A soft pulse of blue light flowed through his mane, casting an ethereal glow across the canyon walls. "You're real," Jor-El said softly. "All the stories, all the myths. This whole time you've been out here watching." Rhal'Tor stepped closer. Jor-El didn't retreat. There was no fear, only awe and understanding. The lion gently brushed his massive head against Jor-El's chest, and in that moment, an unspoken connection formed between them. From that day on, the Lion of Krypton followed Jor-El from a distance, moving silently through crystal valleys, watching over him as he pursued the truth that the Council refused to accept. And though Jor-El never spoke of Rhal'Tor publicly, Knowing the council would try to capture and experiment on him, the lion's presence gave him strength. But the lion sensed something else too, something more powerful than fear or duty. It was Jor-El's love for his unborn son. Rhal'Tor often watched from afar as Jor-El and Lara prepared a spacecraft unlike anything Krypton had ever built. They were creating a vessel for hope, a vessel meant to escape the doom that others refused to acknowledge. The lion understood far more than they realized. He sensed destiny in that tiny ship. He sensed greatness, and a strange warmth flickered inside him, something he had never felt before. A purpose. Protect the last son. The night the ground trembled so violently that the crystal towers cracked, Rhal'Tor felt the world beginning to die. The sky turned redder than ever before. Fire erupted along the horizon. Entire mountains split open with thunderous shockwaves. The end had begun. Rhal'Tor sprinted through collapsing stone and swirling dust, racing toward the House of El. When he arrived, he saw Jor-El placing the infant, Kal-El, into the spacecraft. Lara's tears shimmered in the glow of Krypton's final sunrise. "Go," Jor-El whispered to his son. "Live." Rhal'Tor emerged from the shadows. Lara gasped softly, but she did not step back. Jor-El bowed his head. Understanding the lion's presence was not danger, it was fate. Rhal'Tor approached the spacecraft. His enormous paw touched the metallic surface. Waves of Kryptonian energy rippled through him, merging with the ship's systems. A faint symbol formed in the ship's side, a glowing shape that resembled an S, the crest of the House of El. The lion roared, not with rage, but with sorrow and power, a roar that echoed across the burning plains and rising firestorms. It was a blessing, a farewell, a promise. The ship launched into the sky, blazing upward through ash and falling crystal as Krypton collapsed beneath it. Rhal'Tor watched it streak into the heavens until it became nothing more than a star in the distance. But the lion was not done. As the planet's core imploded, a violent surge of energy blasted outward. Rhal'Tor was thrown into the air as the ground disintegrated. For a moment, the world became white, light and fire and destruction. And then, silence. Rhal'Tor opened his eyes. He was floating in the void of space, but he was alive. For the first time in his existence, he was alone among the stars. And far ahead, the ship carrying the last son of Krypton disappeared into a blue and green world that glowed like hope itself. Rhal'Tor roared into the endless darkness. He would follow. He must follow. Destiny was calling him across the cosmos. Rhal'Tor drifted weightlessly through the void, a solitary ember of Krypton's vanished glory, the explosion that destroyed. His homeworld had flung him far beyond the reach of its debris, yet its energy still clung to him. His mane glowed softly, blue, red, and silver strands swirling like living nebulae. Each pulse reminded him of what he had lost, but also of what he had sworn to protect. He had seen the last ship escape. He had watched it disappear into the tapestry of distant stars. He felt its direction, its energy signature, and most of all, the presence of the infant it carried, Kal-El. Even separated by the cold silence of space, Rhal'Tor felt drawn to him, not by instinct, but by a deeper resonance, as though fate had woven their destinies together. But the lion knew he could not catch the ship. Kryptonian beasts were mighty, but they were not spacecraft. Then he felt something strange. The shockwave of Krypton's destruction had ignited a dormant energy within him. The collapse of the planet's core, once rich with ancient radiation and crystalline power, had infused his body with an intensity far beyond what even the star beasts were created for. His muscles felt charged with cosmic electricity. His bones thrummed with power. His mane burned like molten plasma. He roared. The sound did not echo. Space was silent. But the burst of energy that followed shot him forward like a comet, streaking through the void. His body tore through the vacuum unharmed, propelled by the radiant pulse of Krypton's dying heart still glowing inside him. He flew, not with wings, not with technology, with will, with power. His trail left ribbons of shimmering blue light across the darkness, like a cosmic signature marking his path toward the same world that called to Kal-El. Hours stretched into days, days into weeks. Time in space was meaningless, yet the lion felt it in his bones. He passed meteor fields, weaving through them with grace. He passed nebula clouds that glowed pink and orange. their beauty reminding him of Krypton's ancient skies. He passed crumbling moons, silent and lonely, that made his heart ache with memories of a world now gone. Still he flew. Still he chased the last sun. And then one day, or one century, time had no language here. He saw it. A distant sun. Soft yellow, warm, gentle. Unlike Krypton's harsh crimson glare, this star felt alive, welcoming, nourishing. The lion's body reacted instantly. The closer he drew to the yellow sun, the more his muscles tightened with raw strength. His mane burned brighter. His heartbeat thundered like a war drum. The radiation, this yellow sun, it was awakening something else inside him, a power he had never possessed before. He accelerated. Planets drifted into view, silent guardians orbiting their golden center. But the lion sought only one of them, the one glowing with blue oceans, green lands and white clouds swirling like silk. The world Kal-El had been sent to. The world of humankind. The lion pierced the atmosphere like a streak of celestial fire, blazing across the sky in a trail of blue and red light. He struck the ground with a thunderous shockwave, carving a crater into a quiet forest. Trees crackled, leaves fell in spirals, birds scattered in fear. When the dust settled, Rhal'Tor stood proudly on solid ground for the first time since Krypton's destruction. He exhaled. This world's air was soft, rich with oxygen and life. Its gravity was gentler than Krypton's, making his every movement feel effortless. He stretched, flexing muscles that felt stronger than ever. When he dug his claws into the soil, sparks of energy rippled outward. The yellow sun had enhanced him, amplified his limbs, his senses, his energy. He was faster, stronger, more powerful than the legends had ever suggested. He was no longer just the Lion of Krypton. He was something new. He roamed the forest cautiously. Earth's creatures smelled unfamiliar, soft, delicate, unaware of the Titanic being walking among them. His sensitive hearing caught rustling leaves, distant rivers, and the heartbeat of every living thing around him. And then he heard something else. Crying. A young human child lost in the woods. The lion approached quietly, moving like a shadow through the trees. In a clearing, he found a small boy, no older than 5, shivering beside a fallen log. His knee was bleeding and tears streaked his dirty face. The boy froze when he saw the massive, glowing lion approaching. Rhal'Tor stepped closer. The child trembled, backing against the log, fear radiating off him like heat. The lion lowered himself slowly, paws spread wide, head bowed in the most gentle gesture he could muster. The glow of his mane softened, the energy in his eyes dimmed to a comforting blue. The child sniffed, confused. You're not gonna eat me?" he whispered. Rhal'Tor tilted his head. The child hesitated, then placed a tiny hand on the lion's mane. When he felt warmth instead of danger, he smiled through his tears. "You're warm and soft," the lion purred, a deep cosmic vibration that soothed the child instantly. Max, where are you?" Human voices echoed through the trees. The child looked up. "That's my mom." Rhal'Tor gently pushed the boy forward with his nose, guiding him toward the voices. When the humans emerged into the clearing, they gasped in horror at the sight of the cosmic beast beside their child. But the boy smiled proudly. "It's okay. He saved me." The lion stepped back into the shadows, allowing the humans to gather the child in relief, before they could question him, chase him, or fear him further. Rhal'Tor turned and leapt away in a blur of radiant speed. He had done what he needed to protect, to guide, to watch over the vulnerable, just as he had always done on Krypton. But this was not why he had come. He needed to find Kal-El. Days passed. The lion roamed across mountains and plains, deserts and frozen fields, searching for the presence that had drawn him across the stars. Yet Earth was vast, and even with his enhanced senses, he struggled to pinpoint the exact location, until one night, under the soft glow of the moon, he heard it. A sound, a heartbeat, strong, pure, familiar, the heartbeat of a Kryptonian child. The lion raced toward it, streaking across the landscape like living lightning. Trees bent behind him. Water rippled from lakes as he passed. Animals fled in startled confusion. He sprinted until he reached a quiet field outside a small rural farm. There, beneath the stars, a young boy sat on a fence, kicking his legs absent-mindedly as he stared at the sky. Kal-El. Human name, Clark Kent. The lion emerged from the shadows. The boy turned, his blue eyes widening, not in fear, but in recognition, as though some ancient instinct whispered the truth to him. The lion of his true world had come. Clark hopped off the fence. "Hi." Rhal'Tor lowered his head, bowing gently. The boy smiled. "I know you." The lion blinked slowly, warmth blooming in his cosmic heart. He had found him, at last. Clark took a hesitant step toward the glowing lion, the night breeze brushing through his dark hair. Fireflies drifted lazily through the sky, their tiny lights dancing around the massive creature, as though welcoming an old guardian home. The lion lowered himself, so he was no taller than the small boy before him. Clark reached out slowly and touched the beast's mane, his small hand sinking into the warm, starlit strands. A faint surge of energy pulsed beneath his fingertips, a soft hum that made his heart flutter. "You feel like home," Clark whispered. Rhal'Tor closed his glowing eyes, pressing his head gently into the boy's hand. He felt it too. The same energy he had sensed on Krypton, the same warmth that radiated from the House of El. This was the child he had sworn to protect across the cold abyss of space. This was the last son of Krypton. For several quiet moments, they simply existed, two survivors of a dead planet standing together beneath an alien sky. Then the farmhouse door creaked open. "Clark, you out there?" Jonathan Kent's voice carried across the field. Clark turned. "Dad!" "Come see this." Jonathan Kent stepped into the yard, freezing instantly when his eyes met the glowing creature beside his son. His breath caught in his throat. He took a slow step back, instinct screaming to protect the boy, but he forced himself to remain calm. "Clark, step away slowly." "It's okay," the boy said with a certainty far beyond his years. "He won't hurt me." Jonathan hesitated, studying the lion's posture. The creature was enormous, larger than any earthly animal, yet its stance was peaceful, respectful, not predatory, not threatening, more like a guardian. "Clark," Jonathan said carefully, "come over here." Clark didn't move. He held onto the lion's mane with gentle confidence. "Dad, he's like me. He's from where I'm from." Those words stopped Jonathan's heart. Rhal'Tor stepped forward slightly, lowering his head toward the farmer. Not in aggression, but acknowledgement. Jonathan held his breath. The lion's eyes glowed softly, but there was intelligence there, ancient and sorrowful. Jonathan Kent exhaled slowly. All right. If Clark trusts you, then I do too." His voice trembled slightly. "Just don't hurt my boy." The lion bowed his head in a promise. From that night forward, Rhal'Tor stayed close to the Kent farm. He kept to the shadows, never allowing human eyes to linger on him for long. But Clark always knew when he was near. Whenever bullies bothered him, they suddenly felt uneasy and left him alone. Whenever Clark wandered too far, a warm glow guided him back home. Whenever he felt lost, confused, or frightened by his growing powers, the lion appeared at the edge of the fields, staring at him with silent understanding. Rhal'Tor stepped closer and touched Clark's chest lightly with his paw. A wave of Kryptonian energy washed over him, calming, grounding, steady. The lion lowered his head, pressing his forehead gently against Clark's, and a soft hum radiated from his mane. Clark gasped. He saw the truth of who he was. When the vision faded, the storm quieted. Clark wrapped his arms around the lion's neck and buried his face in his glowing mane. "Thank you," he whispered. Rhal'Tor's purr rumbled like distant thunder. As the years went on, Clark learned to control his abilities. He learned kindness from Martha Kent, strength from Jonathan, and heritage from the silent guardian who watched over him. But the lion knew this peaceful anonymity would not last forever. Krypton's legacy could not remain hidden. On Clark's 18th birthday, Rhal'Tor sensed something shift, a distant tremor in the atmosphere, a ripple of energy unlike anything Earth possessed. It was Kryptonian in nature, a ship, a signal, a threat. Clark noticed too. The lion led him to a remote plateau under the night sky, where stars glowed bright like a million watchful eyes. Clark stood tall now, no longer a boy, but a man discovering his destiny. "Is someone coming?" Clark asked quietly. The lion nodded. "Someone like me?" Another nod. Clark swallowed. "Are they dangerous?" Rhal'Tor looked toward the sky, eyes narrowed. He had felt the growing shadow long before this moment. A presence tied to Krypton, but twisted by pride and rage. A general who once sought dominion over their world. General Zod. Clark looked at the lion. "What do I do?" For the first time, the lion spoke, not with words, but with a deep, resonant connection that filled Clark's mind. "You must protect them, as I protected you. You are the legacy. You are the light." Clark's breath trembled. "But I'm not ready." The lion stepped closer, touching his forehead to Clark's one last time. "You are. The skies trembled with distant thunder, not from weather, but from engines cutting through the atmosphere. The lion's mane blazed brightly, preparing for battle. Clark looked at him in shock. "You're not leaving, are you?" The lion gazed at him with gentle, ancient eyes. He had followed Clark across the endless void. He had guarded him through childhood. He had given him courage, truth, and a connection to the world they had lost. And now, as danger approached, he would stand beside him. Always. A streak of fire lit the sky. Clark clenched his fists, cape fluttering in the wind. The Lion of Krypton roared, loud enough to shake the heavens. Together they raced toward the danger. One the last son of Krypton, the other the last guardian of a lost world. Hope and fury, light and fire, side by side, ready to defend their new home.